Hey, Spooky Squad, welcome back to Spooky Tales, your home for eerie comfort and midnight chills. Before we begin, grab your blanket, dim the lights, and remember, never touch a red umbrella left out in the rain. It started on one of those endless nights when the rain feels personal. The kind of rain that sounds like it's whispering secrets against your window. Soft, relentless, knowing. In a small Japanese town tucked between misty hills and forgotten temples, a boy named Rin walked home alone, his school bag soaked through, his shoes squelching with each step. The streets were empty, lanterns flickered. The sound of dripping echoed off the tiled roofs like a heartbeat in slow motion. He was 12, quiet, observant, the type who noticed things others didn't. Like the way cats disappeared before a storm, or how the puddles in front of the old shrine never reflected the moon properly, no matter how clear the night was. That night, Rin took the longer path home, past the shrine, where the rain always seemed heavier. He didn't know why he did it. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was fate. When he reached the moss-covered torii gate, something caught his eye. A red umbrella. It was standing upright in the mud, perfectly open despite the wind. Rain sliding down its crimson fabric in steady, glossy lines. No one was around. It shouldn't have been standing like that. Rin hesitated. He stepped closer. The umbrella's color wasn't the cheerful red of a child's toy. It was darker, deeper, like old blood. He thought maybe someone had left it after praying at the shrine. But when he reached out to close it, the handle felt cold. Too cold, like metal left in the snow. He pulled the umbrella closer and tilted it slightly to drain the water. That's when it happened. The water that spilled out wasn't clear. It was thick, dark, and it reeked of iron. Rin stumbled back, dropping it. The liquid splattered across his hands and sleeves, and even through the pounding rain, he could smell it, blood. He blinked, thinking it must have been a trick of the light. But no, the umbrella was bleeding. The puddle beneath it spread, red ripples glowing faintly in the flickering shrine lanterns. Then, just for a moment, the rain stopped. Every droplet froze midair, and from the direction of the umbrella came the faint sound of someone breathing. Rin looked up. A figure stood behind the umbrella. It was a woman or something that used to be one. Her hair hung soaked and tangled over her face. Her kimono plastered to her body, torn at the sleeves. She was missing an eye. Her skin, pale and wet, seemed to shimmer faintly, like the reflection of water in the dark. "Give it back," she whispered, voice trembling like the rain itself. Rin froze. His breath hitched. "What?" The woman tilted her head, her one visible eye rolling white. "My umbrella. Give it back." He stepped back, trembling, the blood dripping from the umbrella handle to the stones. The woman's smile stretched far too wide. "Since you took it, you'll never find shelter again." Then lightning split the sky, and she was gone. Only the umbrella remained, its fabric now blackened and torn, fluttering slightly though no wind blew. Rin didn't remember running home. He only remembered the sound of his heartbeat pounding in his ears, and how, when he slammed the door behind him, the rain started again, heavier, angrier. His mother scolded him for coming home so late, but she stopped mid-sentence when she saw his hands. They were still stained dark red. Rin, what happened? He couldn't explain it. He just said he fell, that it was mud. But even after scrubbing, the stains wouldn't come off completely. That night, when he finally lay down to sleep, the sound of rain echoed louder than ever. He got up, opened the curtains, and gasped. Outside, the red umbrella was leaning against his window, and beneath it, a dark figure waited, smiling faintly through the glass. Rin couldn't move. His breath fogged the glass as he stared at the umbrella just beyond it. The red fabric glistened under the streetlight, but it wasn't just wet with rain anymore. It dripped. Slow, steady drops that left faint red trails down the window pane. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, looked again, and the umbrella was gone. Only the sound of the rain remained. He told himself it was a dream. He had to. But deep down, something in him knew the truth. He'd taken something that wasn't his, and now it wanted him to remember. The next morning, Ren woke to gray light and silence. The rain hadn't stopped, it never stopped. Water slid down the walls of the house, dripping from the ceiling like the place itself was weeping. His mother seemed tired, distracted. She kept looking toward the window as she made breakfast. "Did you hear someone last night?" she asked quietly. Ren hesitated. "No." She forced a smile, but her hands were shaking. "Maybe I just dreamed it." Then she turned off the stove. "You should stay in today, okay? The roads are flooded." Ren nodded, but he couldn't stop thinking about that umbrella. It had been real. He could still smell the metallic scent of blood on his hands. Around noon, the sound began. At first, it was faint. A light tapping at the front door. Then it grew louder. Knock, knock, knock. Steady, rhythmic, like someone who wasn't in a hurry, because they already knew you'd answer. Ren peeked through the window. No one was there, but something was. A small puddle had formed at the doorstep, perfectly circular, bright red in the gray light. And beside it, the umbrella, closed this time, its fabric sagging and soaked. Ren's heart pounded. He remembered the woman's voice. "You'll never find shelter again." He grabbed a towel, wrapped his trembling hands around the doorknob, and yanked the door open. But there was nothing. No umbrella, no puddle, just rain, endless and whispering. Then he heard it. A voice, soft and close to his ear. "You opened it." Ren spun around, but no one was there. Only a faint wet footprint led from the doorway toward his room. He followed, trembling. The prints were small, bare, and uneven, as if the person walking had been dragging one leg behind. They stopped at his bedroom door. Ren pushed it open. The window was ajar, rain misting the floor, and leaning against his desk was the umbrella, dripping, waiting. The room suddenly felt colder, darker. He could see his breath. And then, just like before, the rain outside paused. Each droplet hung in midair like tiny glass beads suspended in time. A shadow formed on the wall, long and feminine, moving though nothing was there to cast it. Ren backed away, heart hammering. "Who are you?" he whispered. The shadow's head tilted. Its voice was like the wind hissing through cracks in the glass. "Once, I was like you, a traveler seeking shelter. I left my umbrella at the shrine to rest, but he took it." Ren swallowed. "Who?" Her tone turned sharp, desperate. "The rain spirit. He promised protection, but he only wanted my soul. Now my umbrella is cursed, bound to whoever opens it. And you," she stepped closer, "have opened the wound." The air thickened. The smell of blood filled the room. Ren stumbled back, nearly tripping over his bed. "What do you want from me?" The shadow's hand reached toward him, thin fingers trembling like wet reeds. "I want to rest, but for that, you must carry what I cannot." Before Ren could react, the umbrella snapped open by itself. A gush of black water poured out, splattering across the floor, but the water didn't fall. It crawled like living ink. Ren screamed, trying to kick it off, but it clung to him, cold and heavy. The shadow's whisper grew louder, overlapping with the pounding rain. "Shelter is a curse when it belongs to the dead." And then the knock came again, this time from inside the house. Slow, wet, hollow. Ren turned toward the sound, trembling violently. A figure was standing in the hallway, his mother, but her eyes were blank, her skin pale and dripping, and in her hand was another umbrella, identical. She tilted her head slowly. "Run," she whispered. "It's still raining." Ren froze. His mother stood motionless in the doorway, the dim light flickering behind her. Raindrops ran down her face, but she wasn't wet. The water seemed to seep out from her, like it was coming from inside her body. "Mom," he whispered. She tilted her head, smiling faintly. "You shouldn't have opened it." Ren stepped back, trembling. "That's not you," he said, his voice cracking. Her eyes rolled upward, and for a second, he saw her pupils twist like whirlpools. Then she spoke again, but it wasn't her voice. It was layered, deep, echoing, and full of sorrow. The rain remembers all who steal its shelter. Ren's legs gave out, and he fell to his knees. "What do you want from me?" he shouted. "Why me?" His mother's face flickered, like static on an old TV, and the figure of a woman began to bleed through her shape. Long black hair matted with mud and rain, skin pale as moonlight, eyes like cloudy glass, and around her shoulders, the same red umbrella, open even though no wind touched it. The air in the room rippled. The lights dimmed until the only glow came from the umbrella itself. She stepped closer. "When you opened it," she whispered, "you invited me in. You freed what I had lost. But now, I am bound to your roof." Ren's breath trembled. "You mean my home?" She nodded slowly. "The rain will never leave you now. It will wait above you. Follow your path. Fill your dreams. You'll always hear it, even when it isn't there." He shook his head violently. "No. There has to be a way to stop it." Her pale lips curved into a sad smile. "There is only one way. Return what you took, and carry the curse yourself." Before he could ask what she meant, the umbrella in her hand flipped upside down. Inside it, instead of cloth, was a swirling pool of black rainwater and faces. Dozens of faces, pale, blurred, whispering. He recognized one of them. It was his own reflection. Ren stumbled back, horrified. What are those?" "The ones who sought shelter and broke the vow," she said. "They all opened it. They all tried to return it. But the rain never forgets its debt." Ren looked at the ghost's trembling hands. Her fingers were bleeding, leaving faint trails down the handle of the umbrella. "What happens if I carry it?" he asked softly. She leaned close, her voice almost human again. "Then I rest. But you'll take my place. The next time someone opens the red umbrella, it will be your whisper they hear." Thunder rolled outside. The lights flickered again, then died completely. Only the sound of dripping filled the silence. Ren closed his eyes. He thought of his mother, her real self, asleep somewhere, unaware of what was happening. He thought of the shrine, the way the umbrella had waited for him, like it had known he was coming. Maybe this was always meant to happen. When he opened his eyes again, he said the words slowly, his voice trembling. "Tell me what to do." The ghost smiled. "You must take the umbrella back. During the hour when the rain pauses, the still hour. But beware, it will try to stop you." As she spoke, the room began to distort. The walls bled water. The floor rippled like the surface of a pond. Ren felt his body being pulled downward, as though something below was dragging him into the flood. He fought to stand, clutching the red umbrella tight. The ghost's face was fading now, her form dissolving into mist. "Remember," she whispered, "don't open it again, or you'll never wake up." Then silence. The rain stopped completely. Ren stumbled outside. The streets were empty, the air thick and gray. Every building looked soaked to the bone. He could hear faint whispers carried on the wind, voices murmuring in the puddles, calling his name. He started walking. The red umbrella hung limply at his side, dripping dark water onto the road. Each drop hissed as it hit the ground, burning faint holes in the asphalt. He didn't care anymore. He just wanted to end it. As he reached the shrine path, the sky opened again. But instead of water, black rain poured down. The droplets hit his arms like ink, staining his skin. The stone fox statues at the shrine watched him as he approached, their eyes glowing faintly red. He dropped to his knees before the altar. "Please," he whispered, "let this be over." He placed the umbrella on the stone steps. The moment he did, the rain paused again, and from behind him, a soft, familiar voice. "Ren!" He turned. His mother stood there, smiling gently, but her reflection in a nearby puddle didn't move. And then her reflection smiled wider. Ren froze. The woman standing before him looked like his mother. Same soft eyes, same warm smile, but something in her movements felt off. Her reflection in the puddle twitched like a broken film reel, smiling a fraction too wide. "Mom," he whispered. She tilted her head. You brought it back, didn't you? Ren nodded slowly. Yes, I did what the spirit said. Her smile stayed frozen. Then it's over. But her reflection's mouth kept moving, whispering words he couldn't hear. The rain began again. Soft at first, then heavier. Thunder rumbled somewhere far away. Ren stepped back, glancing at the red umbrella on the shrine steps. His handle twitched, just slightly, like something inside it was breathing. He turned to look back at his mother. She was closer now, too close. Her hair stuck to her face, dripping black water. And for a moment her eyes flashed red. You shouldn't have brought it back, Ren. Her voice changed, deeper, layered with echoes, familiar yet wrong. The spirit doesn't rest. It trades. Ren's heart sank. What do you mean? The rain has a keeper now, she whispered, grinning through clenched teeth. You gave it a new name. Then her reflection rose from the puddle, climbing upward like liquid flesh turning solid. It was her face, but stretched, waterlogged, smiling unnaturally. Two identical figures stood before him now, one whispering softly, one grinning like a predator. Ren stumbled back. Lightning flashed, and for an instant, the puddles reflected hundreds of faces around the shrine. All of them his own. He realized what the ghost had meant. To end the curse, he had to take her place, to become the spirit that guards the rain. The red umbrella began to spin on its own, opening again. This time it didn't pour water, poured shadows. The air turned thick and heavy, pressing against his chest. His reflection began to distort, rippling like ink. And from the reflection's mouth, the same whisper, "You found my umbrella. Now you'll carry my storm." Ren screamed as the shadow rose around him, swallowing his voice. He reached out, trying to close the umbrella, but the handle fused with his palm, burning into his skin like molten iron. He could feel something pulling at his soul, threading it into the rain. Images flashed through his mind. Endless storm clouds, old shrines, people running with umbrellas through centuries of rain, each one carrying the same faint curse, passing it unknowingly to the next who dared to touch what was lost. And then, silence. The rain stopped again. A few days later, the townspeople found the shrine path washed clean. The red umbrella was gone. So was Ren. His mother searched for him for weeks. The police found no trace. But neighbors began to whisper that it now rained only above their house. Every night, the sound of droplets on the roof never stopped, even when the skies were clear. One evening, she stepped outside and looked up. There was no cloud, but rain still fell. And for just a second, she saw it. A faint figure standing on the rooftop, holding an open umbrella that shimmered red under the moonlight. She called his name. The figure tilted its head, then vanished into mist. That night, she dreamed of him. He was standing at the shrine, smiling softly, whispering, "Don't worry, Mom. It's my turn to keep you dry." When she woke, her pillow was soaked, not from tears, but from rainwater. And ever since then, locals say that if you ever find a red umbrella left open in the rain, don't touch it, because sometimes, when you look closely enough, the reflection in the puddle beneath it might smile back. And that, my friends, is the curse of the red umbrella. A haunting reminder that even kindness can awaken what should have stayed forgotten. Next time you're caught in a storm and see a lone umbrella waiting for you, remember this story, because not every shelter is meant for the living. If you enjoyed tonight's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because here on Spooky Tales, the rain always whispers, and the shadows never rest. Sweet dreams, my spooky squad, and remember, if your reflection moves wrong, run.